This area here that was called in the time of Jesus the area of Magadan in biblical days, and Dalmanuta, the region of his stay. You can see the beautiful names of the region, and it was called also Ain Sheva in Hebrew, means the seven springs. In Greek language it was called Hyptapigon. Hyptapigon means seven, referring to the seven freshwater springs and saltwater springs that we have them in this region today. We can understand why they called it the seven springs area, because seven springs means seven green spots. So this is how they identified it. And the name Hyptapigon was distorted along the historical periods and turned to be Tabgha. Now, in this place, this is the authentic place where Jesus performed the miracle of the multiplication. How many baskets were kept from this miracle? 12, symbolizing the 12 tribes of Israel. On the other side of the lake, in the land of the non-Jews, 7 baskets were kept, symbolizing the 7 nations of the non-Jews. So the message of the Son of God was, Jews and non-Jews were fed from the bread of life, from Jesus Christ, the living water. You follow me? Yes. Tell you what, you see the lake. We take the northwestern quarter of the lake. This part was populated by Jewish population. The other side of the lake, the eastern part, which is up there, we have the Golan Heights today and Jordan. It was part of what we call Decapolis. Deca means 10, polis means cities. 10 Greek cities were united based on economy, based on culture. So all the other part of the lake was, bless you, all the other part of the lake was populated by non-Jews, pagans, locals, Greeks and Romans. You follow me? The land here, this area, politically, it was the Decapolis. In the time of Jesus also, the Decapolis was called after the names of the nations who lived there, as the land of Gergasa, the land of Gadarenes. So if you buy a map or you go to Uncle Google and look how this area looked like in the time of Jesus, you will see on the map registered Decapolis, the land of the non-Jews. The north belonged to the tetrarchy of Herod Philippi, the son of Herod the Great. And Tiberias was the main city in the tetrarchy of Herod Antipas, the second son of Herod the Great. His tetrarchy had 2 parts. One part here in Israel today, the other part is in Jordan. Okay? Actually, we know that John the Baptist, his head was cut by Herod Antipas, the son of Herod the Great. And this story didn't happen here. It happened in the part of his tetrarchy, which is in Jordan. The site is called Michvar in Hebrew. Michvar, Makawer. Okay? Now, this is the political reality that we had it. And when we talk about Herod Antipas, for example, Jesus knew Herod Antipas. He titled him as a fox. We say that the apple doesn't fall far away from the tree. And when they told Herod Antipas about Jesus, he said, who is Jesus? Is he John the Baptist? I already cut his head. He was confused. So Jesus experienced this political reality and he moved from one place to other place. One of the main questions that we ask ourselves is, what was the attitude of the Son of Man toward all these nations that he met? The attitude to the Jews, I came to my own people. Okay? The attitude of Jesus toward the non-Jews, when I saw the faith, the seed of faith in their heart, I welcomed them. Which means the attitude was equal. The Son of Man, he welcomed everyone. It's very important what we are explaining, because from these explanations we can understand that nobody can say, I am white, Jesus came to me. And he didn't go to the other. No, the Son of Man, he is the Son of God, he is the salvation for all human beings. Is it clear? Yes. Okay, now over here, the olive oil production, it has 3 stages in order to produce the olive oil. The technology changed, but the stages are one, from biblical days to the time of Jesus till these days. You see the olive tree. Olive tree has a quality. 1 year you have a lot of fruits. 2nd year you have quarter of the quantity. So when we buy for our homes olive oil, we buy it when there are a lot of olive fruits, the price is less. Second issue is the people here, they still harvest the olive fruit like how it was in the time of Jesus. We do it by hand, and it is a tough work. You catch a stick and you hit the branches and the fruits fell and you collect it. Now when we do it after the first rain in September, October. Why? Because during summertime the tree is dusty. When you hit, you will be choked with the dust. So the rain washes the tree and the tree gets water, the fruit tend to be bigger. So you hit, you collect, and then the second stage after picking up is to crush. This stone was tied to a donkey, not me, and the donkey rolled it. So it crushed the olive fruit. The third is to press. They got the crushed olive fruits, they put it inside baskets with holes. The Bible call it akal. You see the basin there. They placed 2 pieces of wood on the basin, the baskets on the top, and they got a huge beam of wood, placed it on the baskets, and it presses. Why? Because they tied big stones as weights. So this is how they produced oil in the time of Jesus. The best oil is extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin is produced only with a cold press. If you heat the fruit, you will not get the extra virgin. Second issue, you know what, let us go before the other group to that sign and I will continue. Second issue, the extra virgin olive must be less than 1%. What determines the acidity? The hygiene of the olive press. When you pick up the olive fruit, you must take it quickly to the olive press. You cannot keep it back in your home a couple of days. And then the fruit should be without any harm. The extra virgin olive oil, the Jews took it and it was used for food and also to offer sacrifices in the temple. With the bad quality of olive oil, they got it, they made oil lamps made of clay, they poured the oil in these lamps and they produced wicks and they lighted it. So the bad quality was used as a source of light. This bad quality olive oil, you can buy it from my mother-in-law. She's an angel when she is asleep. No, you see we will go inside to the church. This church is Benedictine church, was built in 1982. And it was built on the remnants of previous churches. You see the Byzantine churches. The church, they built it following the plan of the second Byzantine church. Actually, the churches were built on the authentic place where the miracle of the multiplication happened. And the miracle happened on the rock, which is in the main altar. We see the top of the rock today. And then in front of the rock, there is a mosaic 1,500 years old, depicting 2 fishes and 4 loaves of bread. We believe that the artist made it 4 and not 5 to show the sign of the cross, or to symbolize the Eucharist, or to symbolize Jesus, to keep the 5th one symbolizing the Eucharist, or symbolizing Jesus as the bread of life. Okay, so the mosaic floor of the church all is ornamented with scenes from Egypt: papyrus plant, bird from Egypt, nilometer, and instrument that they use it in order to measure the Nile. So how we know that this is the authentic place? The Jews who followed Jesus, his followers, they saw him performing the miracle here, so they turned the place to house of prayer, and then 2 Byzantine churches were built that they were destroyed, and then the Benedictine church. So this is how the place was kept. Okay, now let us go inside. You know what, before going inside, let me show you the baptismal font. See here is the baptismal font. It is 1,500 years old. We brought it from a church in the West Bank from the Byzantine period. Notice that the baptismal font has the shape of a cross, and it has 4 seats. Why? Because in the Byzantine period they baptized people when they were adult before their death, not when they were babies. So it belonged to our churches. Let's go inside.
Pila bautismal de la época bizantina. Bien. Bizantina. ¿Estamos de acuerdo? ¿Entendemos?
Ya.
Bueno. Vamos. What country are you?
We need the chaplain to read the gospel.
time had arrived, Herod held a feast on his birthday with the leaders and the tributes and the first rulers of Galilee. And when the daughter of the same Herodias had entered and danced and pleased Herod, along with those who were at the table with him, the king said to the guard, "Request from me whatever you want, and I will give it to you." And he said to her, "Anything that you request, I will give you, even up to half of my kingdom." And when she had gone out, she said to her mother, "What shall I request?" But her mother said, "The head of John the Baptist." And immediately, when she had entered with haste to the king, she petitioned him, saying, "I want you to give me at once the head of John the Baptist on a platter." And the king was greatly saddened, but because of his oath, and because of those who were sitting with him at table, he was not willing to disappoint her. So, having sent executioner, he instructed that his head be brought on a platter. And when he beheaded him in prison, and he brought his head on a platter, and he gave it to the guard, and the guard gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard about it, they came and took his body, and they placed it in a tomb. And the apostles, returning to Jesus, reported to him everything that they had done and taught. And he said to them, "Go out alone into a deserted place and rest for a little while." For there were so many who were coming and going that they did not even have time to eat. And climbing into a boat, they went away to a deserted place alone. And they saw them going away, and many knew about it. And together they ran by foot from all the cities, and they arrived before them. And Jesus, going out, saw a great multitude, and he took pity on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he began to teach them, saying many things. And when many hours had now passed, his disciples drew near to him, saying, "This is a deserted place, and the hour is now late. Send them away, so that by going out to nearby villages and towns, they might buy provisions for themselves to eat." And responding, he said to them, "Give them something to eat yourselves." And they said to him, "Let us go out and buy bread for 200 denarii, and then we will give them something to eat." And he said to them, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." And when they had found out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. And he instructed them to make them all sit down in groups on the green grass. And they sat down in divisions by hundreds and fifties. And having received the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, gazing up to heaven, he blessed and broke the bread, and he gave it to his disciples, saying, to set before them. And the 2 fish he divided among them all. And they all ate and were satisfied. And they brought together the remainder, 12 baskets full of fragments and of fish. Now, those who ate were 5,000 men.
It's up there. The Gospel of the Lord.
It was meant for reflection. The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.